Now, over the last 2 years, trade relations between Turkey and Russia have been severely affected by political tensions. Moscow imposed sanctions on Ankara after the Turkish army shot down a Russian fighter jet over the Syrian border. But since they've eased, economic ties have been slowly picking up. And now the Russian President, Vladimir Putin, is in Ankara to boost cooperation in trade, investment and the military. Earlier this month, Turkey signed a deal to buy S-400 missile systems from Russia. The $2.5 billion agreement was criticized by NATO, but the two leaders defended it, saying they have a right to cooperate in military and technical fields. Turkish exports to Russia surged by 22.5% to $1.6 billion during the January to August period this year. Now, with the fresh fruit and vegetable sector seeing a 150% increase compared to last year. The tourism sector has also seen a revival. Nearly 1 million Russian tourists visited Turkey in the first half of this year. That is a 571% increase on the same period last year, but still well below the 2.1 million in 2015. During the embargo, the trade exchange between the two hit rock bottom at just $16 billion in 2016. That is just half of pre-crisis levels. Let's get more on this now from TRT World's political correspondent Hassan Abdullah, who's live in Ankara for us. Hassan, great to have you on the show. Let's talk about the Turkey relationship with Russia. Turkey and Russia are looking to boost defense cooperation. What are the factors driving this?
Also, there are a number of factors. One of the factors is Turkey's past experience with some of its NATO allies, particularly when Turkey tried to procure armed drone technology from Germany. The response was not so positive. Turkey went ahead and manufactured its own armed drones. So Turkey wants to cut down reliance on its traditional NATO allies. There's a feeling here in Ankara, a growing feeling that the level of commitment from the NATO allies is dropping. But perhaps because of the change in priorities and the shifting international dynamics. So Turkey, of course, wants to make up for that. And Turkey wants to send out a message that it is diversifying its foreign policy and it is not relying on just one bloc. Now, on the issue of the S-400, of course, Turkish officials here are also saying that while the United States and NATO members are expressing concern about the lack of integration capabilities between S-400 and the European missile defense shield, what Turkish officials are saying is that it's going to provide Turkey with an extra level of security as far as its air defenses are concerned. And also, of course, Turkey stands to gain from technology transfer.
Now, two key issues remain unresolved, though, between Turkey and Russia. Visa-free travel for Turks and also tomato exports from Turkey to Russia. Has there been any progress on these two issues?
Well, officials are saying that they are still discussing. In principle, both sides seem to be saying that the relationship is back on track and it's just some nitty-gritty that is still under discussion. Officials in Ankara are saying that they're hoping that by the end of October, both of these issues would be resolved. Now, of course, Turkey is complaining that, that Moscow is not opening up its markets to the Turkish businessmen, but Russian officials are saying that they are looking into this. Now, obviously, Turkey has lived up to its part of the deal on visa-free travel because it gains to benefit from the tourists who are coming from Russia. But on the other hand, Turkey is saying that Russians have offered them commitment that it should be resolved soon.
Hassan Abdullah in Ankara, thank you ever so much.